Welcome to the AI Hustle Podcast, the podcast where we break down the latest in AI news, tools, and interview experts helping you hustle and do more using AI. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you'll know that over the last 6 months, I've been working on a stealth AI startup. Of the hundreds of projects I've covered, this is the one that I believe has the greatest potential. So today I'm excited to announce AIBox. AIBox is a no-code AI app building platform paired with the App Store for AI that lets you monetize your AI tools. The platform lets you build apps by linking together AI models like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and 11 Labs. Eventually will integrate with software like Gmail, Trello, and Salesforce, so you can use AI to automate every function in your organization. To get notified when we launch and be one of the first to build on the platform, you can join the waitlist at aibox.ai. The link is in the show notes. We are currently raising a seed round of funding. If you're an investor that is focused on disruptive tech, I'd love to tell you more about the platform. You can reach out to me at jaden@aibox.ai. I'll leave that email in the show notes. As the digital age matures, content moderation remains, I think, really an evergreen concern every company is kind of looking at right now. I think striking the perfect balance between free expression and also public safety continues to be quite difficult for a lot of companies and corporations. Even the biggest names in tech are obviously grappling with this. Some of them, admittedly are doing a poor job. Some of them maybe better than others. But in any case, people are giving these things criticism from both sides. It's kind of like in America anyways, I don't know how this is in the rest of the world, but in America, it's definitely become kind of like a political issue, right? It would appear that right-leaning people are saying make these things more, give them more free speech and leniency. It would appear that progressives and left-leaning people are saying, make sure that these things are a little bit stricter and better at identifying biases and whatnot. So there's definitely different perspectives on this, and people are criticizing it from both sides for different reasons. But amid evolving regulations and increased social scrutiny, one startup believes that it can reinvent the wheel by focusing on video content in this space specifically. The most complex of them all, I would say, is probably video content. This is a lot harder than text moderation that, we're seeing other players do. And so that's really where Unitary AI comes in. This is a Cambridge-based startup that has developed a multi-modular approach to simplifying the complexity of video content moderation. So today, Unitary AI announced a Series A funding round. Like I mentioned, they raised $15 million, and they're spearheaded by some leading European VC firms. They have Creandum, and they're featuring some contributions from Paladin Capital Group and Plural. So I think this new influx of capital comes at a very pivotal moment for Unitary as its business is experiencing remarkable growth. So while the company hasn't disclosed its customer list, it did confirm that its annual recurring revenue has crossed into the millions. The startup plans to allocate the new funds towards regional expansion and talent acquisition. So really just hiring and building out the team. With prior fundraising, I think that they've done totaling less than 10 million from investors, including they have the ex-Meta executive Carolyn Everson. I think this round really signifies a key moment for Unitary's scaling strategy. So given the explosive growth in the amount of data being generated, especially in the form of video, conventional moderation approaches involving human interventions have proven insignificant, right? Platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, they produce zettabytes of video content. It's not a hyperbole to say that human moderators would be overwhelmed with all of this. Video makes up more than 80% of all online traffic right now, and I think this really is kind of underscoring the enormity of this challenge. So in an online world, there is an immense need for a technology-driven approach to identifying content that could be harmful, illegal, etc. And that is, according to Christopher Steed, who's a chief investment officer at Paladin Capital Group. So although the content moderation landscape is crowded, right? They're not inventing they're not the first people to tackle this problem. So it's definitely crowded with solutions from tech giants like OpenAI, Microsoft Hive, and Amazon's Rekognition. Unitary AI asserts that existing tools miss the mark when it comes to video. So traditional models typically focus on text, audio, or images in isolation, often leading to false positives or overlooked content. I think what is something that we heard recently, the CEO, Sasha Hako, who co-founded the company with their CTO, James Telowis, said, what is innovative about Unitary is that we have genuine multi-modular models. Rather than analyzing just a series of frames in order to understand the nuances and whether a video is, for example, artistic or violent, you need to be able to simulate the way a human moderator watches the video. We do that by analyzing text, sound, and visuals. So it's kind of interesting because they're looking at this from multiple different ways, right? Text, sound, visuals. And I think looking at it from all of these different perspectives can help them essentially moderate much better than something that would, for say, just read the script and tell you where the issue was, or watch the track and tell you where it is. So Unitary AI isn't kind of your run-of-the-mill startup, just based off of what I've seen. Before dedicating herself to the problem of content moderation, their CEO, which is Sasha Hako, was involved in black hole research alongside the late Stephen Hawking. And her decision to kind of focus on earthbound problems, as she calls them, I think reflects a broader change of heart in the tech industry, as it's, slowly kind of moving away from theoretical pursuits to address more immediate issues. So Tyrolus, on the other hand, brings his expertise in computer vision from Oxford, where he specialized in, quote, methods for visual understanding with less manual annotation. So I think really kind of looking at the bigger picture here, the complexities of online content and human behavior aren't just an academic pursuit. They pose real-world challenges that companies are scrambling to solve. So as, multi-modular AI research becomes increasingly prevalent, even with Meta recently alluding to its applications, Unitary sits at a fascinating kind of intersection of emerging tech and also tangible demand. Talking about this, Gemma Bloman, who's a principal at Creandum and she's also a board member, said, quote, "We first met Sasha and James 2 years ago and have been incredibly impressed. Unitary has emerged as clear early leaders in the important AI field of content safety, and we're so excited to back this exceptional team as they continue to accelerate and innovate in content classification technology." So I think in a space where challenges are, really high and the stakes are also very high, Unitary's latest funding round puts it on a very promising path. I think it kind of adds another layer to this kind of evolving narrative of AI-driven solutions attempting to tackle one of the internet's most enduring challenges, which is safe, effective content moderation, without being overbearing. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this rolls out, and definitely a company we'll follow in the future. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thanks for joining me on the Open AI podcast. It would mean the world to me if you would rate this podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Hustle podcast. If you could do us a massive favor, we would really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps people find the podcast. It helps people know this is a good place to go. And we would really, really appreciate it, as it helps us continue to bring on incredible guests and share incredible content for you to listen to.